Alright, so this is the first video of a training log that I'm hoping to put together in preparation for Ironman Australia, which is, as of today, 13 weeks away. So just planning on doing a weekly recap basically of training in the lead up to Ironman Australia and just sort of share the process of the hours that I'm putting in. Pretty much it's not going to be anything elite, it's just pretty standard Ironman, kind of mid-pack. It's actually my first Ironman. So as far as current fitness stats, my 5k PB is about a 1940, my 100 meter freestyle is a 123, and my FTP is a 272. So pretty much my 5k is that of the average 12 to 13 year old boy. My 100 meter freestyle is enough to qualify me for state championships as a 10-year-old girl. And my FTP, I don't even know enough about cycling to tell you whether or not that is a good FTP. 272 is about 3.6 watts per kilo. So they're my current stats, but fortunately I'm not trying to be good at any one thing. I'm trying to be average at 3 things. So that's triathlon, that's what I'm working with now. I am training pretty consistently at the moment. Build it up to about 18 to 19 hours a week of continuous steady training. So hopefully throughout the training logs I can show progression week to week and just share the sort of journey of being brand new to triathlon into the first Ironman. Kind of thought putting together a video log would be a fun little project, and I see a lot of other people doing Ironmans as a way to raise money for charities. So I thought if I put together a video log, I could use that as a way to raise awareness for effective altruism. Maybe I'll make some fun fitness challenges or some fundraisers along the way as well, and I use that as a way to raise some awareness for effective altruism. So I've been working with the coach now for about 10 weeks since I started with him. Basically build up the training from 10, 12, 13 hours a week, sort of progressively now to where we're at the stage of last week was 19 and a half, and this week, which we'll get to, 18 and a half, and slowly progressing up to where we are now and 13 weeks away. Just probably looking to hold this volume now as we lead into Ironman. Looking at this current week, so let's get into the first actual recap of a whole training week. So first session of the week started out as just a 1 hour easy spin, just on Zwift. It was about 139 watts, so it was my morning session. Held about a 120 heart rate basically the entire time. So really easy, really steady, just sort of flushing out any kind of fatigue that would have been in there over the last week. The afternoon session was it's the one long swim I do a week, which was totaled out at 4K. It was 8 500s. Held about a 150 per 100, 151 per 100 average throughout that set. I did set my camera up to try and get some footage, but after taking a quick look at my swim stroke, ultimately my camera did decide to kill itself. Fortunately though, I did find a pretty accurate reenactment online, so I'll play that now. Okay, and then Tuesday's set was, we just had a 90-minute bike and then a 40-minute strength session in the afternoon. So the 90-minute bike actually was a pretty hard one, if we look at it. It's hard for me at least. It was 20-minute warm-up, just about 150 to 180 watts. And then it was 5 rounds of 8 minutes at 260 watts and 4 minutes rest at 224 watts. So really sweet spot session, didn't really get much rest at all. It's actually a classic Ferrari set that I'm going through at the moment. So he's got his 3-week FTP builder. Had a quick chat with the coach about this one. Where week 1, so this is last week, we did 10 by 4 minutes at 98% of FTP, and then with 2 minutes at 72 to 75% of FTP. Week 2, which is this week, 5 rounds of 8 minutes at 95% of FTP, which was the 260, and then 4 minutes of 82 to 85% of FTP, so that was that 224 watts. Next week, I'm assuming it's going to be 3 by 12 minutes at 98% of FTP, and then 4 minutes at 72 to 75% of FTP. So that's apparently a classic Ferrari, which is Lance Armstrong's old trainer. He's said that he would always make athletes do as a bit of a FTP builder. So see how that works over the next few weeks, but absolutely found that one really hard on Tuesday. I actually had to stop and take a rest on the 5th rep at about 4 minutes in. So I actually took that one at about half effort because I was absolutely knackered. I think if you look at my heart rate, I was maxing out at like 190 in that set. So really pushed it. And then that afternoon, the strength session, it was pretty simple. Just things like skipping, split squats, glute bridges, things like that. Just your basic injury prevention stuff and some general leg strength.
I don't think this is really gonna make the cut, to be honest.
Why?
Because it's kind of boring.
It's not boring.
Which takes us on to Wednesday. So Wednesday we just had a swim in the morning, and then it was a run of about an hour 15 in the afternoon. So the morning swim, we just had pretty standard warm up, and then the main set was 10 by 50, 6 by 100 and 10 by 50. Didn't take the camera up to the pool that day, it was Australia Day. So as far as times through that set, 50s we had sort of between the mid 130s per 100 pace, and the 100 sort of held between 140 to 145 per 100 throughout that set. So good fun to go a little bit faster. The afternoon run, so we had an hour 15 of work with 10 minutes easy, so just trying to run that one super easy at the start for the 10 minutes. 30 minutes moderate, so I should quickly mention here that the coach will set all my runs to either a moderate, medium or mad effort. He won't set pace, it's just time. So moderate being your all-day pace, you could run as long as you want. Medium, it's controlled, but it's getting to the point that it's uncomfortable. Think like 10K to half marathon kind of pace where you're really sort of pushing it, but you can't hold it for an extended period of time. And then mad being pretty much all out, just without compromising any form. So this whole run was, 10 minutes easy, 30 minutes moderate, and then it was 5 by 3 minutes medium with 2 minutes easy and a 10-minute easy cool down. Now, pretty much for the 5 by 3 minute medium set, I just ran that one up a hill. So it essentially just became 5 3-minute hill repeats with 2 minutes recovery going back down the hill. So that was the hilly run on Wednesday. Thursday, we had a 90-minute strength set on the bike in the morning, followed by a 40-minute run in the afternoon, which I actually skipped, but we'll get to that in a moment. As far as the strength set goes, we just had 15-minute warm-up, and then it was 3 18-minute efforts holding 240 watts, so that's about 88% of my FTP. It was done as 6 minutes at 55 RPM, 6 minutes at 90 RPM, 6 minutes at 55 RPM, and then it was a 4-minute recovery at 150 watts, just holding about 90 RPM, free ride. So the 3 sets there, and then just your basic cool down at the end. So really slow, grind the gears out, and you pretty much had that 6 minutes in the middle of each effort just to do that recovery, still pushing 240 watts, but those 90 RPMs basically meant that you could get a bit more recovery in. So the afternoon run, I actually did, well, it was planned for 40 minutes. I ran the first 1500 and wasn't feeling that great. I was feeling pretty fatigued, and I actually made the decision to skip that run. Went out, went back, and thought that the costs of that run were kind of outweighing the benefits, particularly because it was an easy run. I'm getting plenty of easy volume in on the bike anyway, so as far as cardiovascular benefits, I didn't see much of a point really pushing anything fatigue-wise in my legs for an easy run. Okay, and that takes us to Friday. So Friday's set was a 3.3K swim in the morning, followed by a hour 10-minute run, so a 70-minute run in the afternoon. For the swim in the morning, pretty standard warm-up, and then it was 20 by 100s as the main set. I should say with the warm-up though, you'll see here the first set was 4 by 150 with odds as freestyle, even as fly, back and breast. I'll insert a clip here of me doing butterfly, just so you can see the technique. So yeah, obviously for that reason, I did not do the butterfly. Sorry, coach, but there's really no chance I was that dedicated to swim 150 meters with technique like that. So honestly, that was just 4x150 of freestyle. The 2100s, it's a good set. We just took 10 seconds rest between each. Basically, if I look at the times, just holding mid 140s basically the entire way there. Mid to high 140s, I guess. And then it was written as 8x25s on the program, but I just did 850s because I was in a 50 meter pool. And those ones were done at about a 120, 118 pace for those 50s per 100. The afternoon run, I just ran that one on the treadmill. Obviously after that 40-minute run that I had to skip, I like to do the treadmill just for risk-free, low intensity miles. Can basically put it on an easy pace and just roll the legs over. I find there's a lot less cost fitness-wise compared to running out on the road. It takes far less of a toll on the body running on the treadmill, just personal preference, I guess. But that was 14k, averaging 5 minutes per kilometre. Average heart rate 147. And then that wraps up the Monday to Friday and we get into the weekend. So Saturday, classic long ride, which was 5 hours. And that took us to about 150 kilometres. If we look at the power, it was actually my first time using a power meter. So I got brand new cleats and brand new shoes, which is great because my old shoes were pretty much being held together with electrical tape and fishing line. It's true. And so this was the first long ride I've been able to use brand new shoes and brand new cleats. So first ride with an actual power meter as well. And my average power was 177, or weighted average power at 195 watts for 5 hours. Pretty much just ran this 4 laps around this 20k route. It's got pretty similar elevation to this Ironman Australia, just to practice that. And then there was some flats, so I just did some flat surges on that one, just to practice getting aero and pushing hard. And then Saturday afternoon was just a 40-minute strength set, pretty similar to Tuesdays, just your pretty basic skipping, hip hinges, wall sits, glute bridges, and a core circuit as well. So yeah, again, mainly injury prevention, I would think, and then just some basic leg strength. Good to get that set in after a 5-hour day, so that was a pretty long day. And then Sunday, which was today, we just had a 32k or 20-mile run. If I read what the coach has put here, he pretty much just says keep this moderate throughout. There's no time limit here, but aim for a minimum of 2 hours, but ideally he did say he wanted to see 20 miles or 32k's. So I was feeling good, obviously went for the full 20 miles. I pretty much ran that one as a 1 mile warm up, 18 miles at race pace, which is going to be about 4:55 per kilometre, and then a 1 mile cool down. So the coach was pretty stoked to see that. He sent me a message to say he was happy to see me holding that race pace. But honestly, on the treadmill, I find that way easier than running outside. Some people find it mind numbing, but as far as a dead flat surface, always having your nutrition bottles straight in front of you and an air-conditioned environment, it's way easier for me to maintain heart rate and maintain effort. So 143 average heart rate, which compared to my other runs is considerably lower. So I'm really able to maintain my effort well on the treadmill. And that pretty much wraps up the entire week. So I'm going to keep trying to film my sessions throughout the week and put together the weekly training recaps. I'm sure the video quality will get better. This is pretty much just a throw it together kind of thing on the first one, and hopefully I get to log a bit of progression in the lead up to Ironman and film some more content. Looking forward to it, and I'll keep it updated.
Oh, did you just hit the car?